Greetings, brothers and sisters. This M&F here. So he's been gaffing it up really bad the last 3 or 4 days. Disastrous gaffes, right? I've been covering it here. I mean, he's always gaffing it up, but here more than ever. But they decided to bring him into an ice cream shop. You know, they got to clear the whole thing out, right? It's just completely staged and fake, right? And this guy, he's so old. Sugar can't be good for you at this point in your life. This kind of, he's barely holding it together. But he says something here that's very JoJo Magoo.
Just one more economic one. Are you concerned about the strength of the dollar right now?
So he goes for a bite, right? A sugar cone, old toothless dude.
I'm not concerned about the strength of the dollar. I'm concerned about the rest of the world.
Yeah, because the rest of the world has just had $12 trillion in bailouts. A disaster on every level.
Does that make sense?
No, it doesn't make any sense. It makes 0 sense because you're completely clueless. When I know more about the economy than you do, it's a problem.
Yes, our economy is strong as hell.
It's strong as hell.
The internal. Inflation is worldwide. It's worse off everywhere else than it is in the United States. So the problem is the lack of economic growth and sound policy in other countries, not so much.
No, not here. We're doing great.
That's it's worldwide inflation. That's consequential.
Nobody believes you, right? He's got that weird Crypt Keeper mullet going on there. I mean, it's as his ice cream cone. This lady's getting a photo. It is great. Haiti gang blockade is causing catastrophic hunger, UN officials say. This is where other countries that aren't able to buy food because of the inflationary aspect of what's going on. In America, we still are, but it's getting worse here. But it's America's dollar falling and the hyperinflation caused by the world reserve currency and every other currency imploding in a debt-based economy. And these poorer countries are experiencing it first, but it's coming here. And, it's inevitable, right? It's Thanos. Terrifying animation shows one tactical nuclear weapon could trigger a U.S.-Russia war that kills 35 million people in 5 hours. A simulation plan A produced by researchers show how the use of one so-called tactical or low-yield nuclear weapon could lead to terrifying worldwide conflict. Even that they're talking about this is effed. Means that, it's become a possibility. The average American is losing 34,000 K and everything else on Biden's watch. Well, let's go ahead. What they got here at Fox News. So they have the New York Post headline here that they're showing. KO. 401KO.
Let us bring in Congressman Ted Budd, member of the House Financial Services Committee and senatorial candidate there in the great state of North Carolina. Senator candidate, Congressman Budd, check out the New York Post cover this morning. It says 401KO, average retirement account down 25% under Biden economics. Let's get into
It's going to get worse because the value of the money, that's how you get killed. Because $1 million is going to be worth $10,000 or whatever it is, right? What it used to be. When a person was thinking about retirement and they thought $2 million would be enough to last them the rest of their life or whatever it was, $1 million, whatever they need, right? 100,000, 200,000, it's going to be worth nothing, right? That's where the inflation is where it gets you.
to the specifics. Since President Biden took office, monthly savings have collapsed, falling 83%. The average 401k plan had over $135,000 at the start of this year. Today, those assets have shrunk on average to about $101,000.
And so, again, that doesn't account for the dollar value being less. That's where they get you. This is just the various investments shrinking. We saw this in Britain. There's retirement accounts that are collapsing, and they don't have the money. Of course, Social Security won't be available, all the money people paid in for that. And so, it's beyond just Biden. To put this on just Biden, it's the nature of the debt-based economic system. And so Trump, for these people, or you guys who thought Trump was doing it better, Trump deregulated everything, which meant that at some point the banks were going to go back to their old ways, which they did. And at some point, the economy was going to collapse, just like it did in 2008, because they were going to go full derivatives again, because Trump deregulated everything. And so partly it's on him, but it doesn't matter who's the president or who's running the economic plan or system. It's a debt-based economic system. It always ends up here because it's not natural. It's not divine. It's, debt is wealth, right? It's inverted. It's satanic. When something is the opposite of what is natural, in terms of a natural economy where things that are valuable, that have worth, are the basis of the economy, then the economy is, solid. But if debt is the basis of your economy, we're borrowing money and imaginary wealth created out of an IOU or promise is a negative economy, right? And it can only produce more and more debt, right? Because everything's going to grow. So if you base it in wealth, the wealth will grow. If you base it in debt, the debt will grow. And ours is based in debt. So that's why it's a big FU to all of the rest of us. All right, I got to stop here. I got a little bit of a rant to do about Amazon and AT&T. So let me do that. So I'm having some issues with my internet. Just upload speeds. I had a whole thing with AT&T, and I want to maybe address this in a future video. Amazon and AT&T, just how bad they suck and how the tech world gets worse. Like things seem to be getting worse even though the technology's growing. But I'll get into that in a bit. But anyways, I'm going to keep this video short. And I have another video that YouTube yellowed, and it has to do with JoJo Magoo snoozling. There's some snoozling some teenage, young woman, and I got a whole thing to do with that. And they're not. YouTube isn't. Usually they manually check the video and determine whether it's ad friendly or not. But it's taken them forever to do that. So I have 2 videos waiting for that to happen too. So that's why. Anyways. My internet issues should be resolved soon, next day or so. Only spirituality will save this world. It's Paul Romano, definitely pointing for the apocalypse and the ascension. Everyone have a blessed day and be grateful.